Have you ever felt like life is overwhelming or that you're stuck in a cycle of negativity? What if there was a way to break free from those thoughts and start loving your life again? Well, you're in luck. In this video, we're diving into Stoicism, a powerful ancient philosophy that can completely transform how you view the world. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, let go of what we can't, and find peace in the process. If you're tired of letting stress, uncertainty, or negative thoughts dictate your mood, Stoicism offers the tools to help you reclaim control and rediscover joy. In the next few minutes, we'll explore practical Stoic principles that can reshape your mindset, reduce your anxiety, and help you live with more intention. Imagine starting each day feeling calm, focused, and ready to embrace whatever comes your way. If you're ready for a positive shift in your life, stick with us. We're about to uncover some life-changing wisdom that'll help you not just cope with life's challenges, but thrive. Let's jump in. Number 1, the quiet shift toward a better life. Some people live life like a sprint, always running toward the next goal, a degree, a wedding, a promotion. But when the noise fades and the dust settles, many find an unexpected silence. Not peace, but a hollow stillness. The question echoes, why doesn't this feel like I thought it would? It's not that life misled them, it's that they misunderstood what makes life meaningful. Like chasing the horizon, they ran hard but never stopped to consider if they were heading in the right direction. We often fill our schedules, homes, and minds with clutter, not to add value but to avoid stillness. Imagine a woman who wants to be respected. She reads books on charisma, takes public speaking classes, and surrounds herself with influencers. But she begins to lose herself in the performance. Her laughter becomes rehearsed, her words curated. One day she stares into the mirror and no longer recognizes the woman looking back. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Her pain came not from others' judgment, but from abandoning her authenticity. A better life begins when we shed roles we never needed. Like pruning a tree, cutting back doesn't weaken us. It helps us grow stronger. The Stoics teach that meaning isn't found in doing more, but in doing what matters. Take another example. A woman with a modest job and simple joys. One day she's told she should dream bigger, so she dives into side hustles, networking, and self-branding. Slowly she drifts from the calm rhythm she once loved. The stress piles up, not from failure, but from success that doesn't fit her soul. If she paused, she might remember that her joy came from quiet mornings, deep conversations, and time in nature. Fulfillment isn't one size fits all. To live well, we must stop comparing our journey to others and start honoring what truly nourishes us. Consider a retired woman who, after years of raising children and managing a household, finds herself restless. Wanting to feel useful again, she joins every local club and volunteers for every event. Eventually, she burns out, not from effort, but from forgetting to rest and reflect. One morning, while walking alone, she sees a bird calmly gliding across the sky. No rush, no destination, just being. That's when it hits her. Life doesn't always need to be filled. It needs to be felt. She withdraws from the noise, keeps only the commitments that light her up, and rediscovers the power of presence. Her days slow down, but they deepen. A disordered inner life creates a disordered world. If you're always reacting, always chasing, you'll never feel grounded. But peace, true peace, starts from within. It's not about controlling everything. It's about learning what's worth your energy. And it begins with small decisions. Saying no to gossip, listening more than speaking, choosing silence over constant stimulation. These aren't dramatic acts, but they shape character. They build a person who can withstand life's storms without losing center. In the end, wisdom is not loud, it's steady. A wise woman does not impress the world by how much she does, but by how deeply she understands what matters. When she walks into a room, she doesn't need to speak to be felt, because her presence carries the quiet strength of someone who has made peace with herself. Number 2, how to avoid insecurities in life. A young violinist once stood trembling backstage before her first major performance. The music hall was filled with an expectant crowd, and the pressure felt unbearable. She had practiced for years, yet insecurity gripped her heart. Her fingers, once agile, now shook. But just before she stepped on stage, her old teacher whispered, "You don't control the audience, only your bow." Insecurity thrives when we attach our peace to what lies outside our control. The Stoics remind us that we cannot steer the wind, but we can adjust our sails. When we release the illusion of control, we find true confidence, not in outcomes, but in presence. Think of a farmer planting crops. He tills the soil, plants the seeds, and waters them with care. But he does not command the rain or the sun. He accepts that nature will play its part. Likewise, we can prepare, act, and give our best. But we must let go of needing every result to go our way. Another example comes from a teacher who was passed over for a promotion. Instead of spiraling into resentment or self-doubt, she saw it as an opportunity to reassess her goals. She began mentoring students more personally and found deeper satisfaction in their growth than any title could offer. In letting go of external rewards, she gained inner fulfillment. The root of many insecurities is comparison. Social media has made it easy to measure our lives against highlight reels of others. A man scrolling through vacation photos of his peers might feel his own life is dull. Yet Stoicism teaches that the only true comparison is with your past self. Are you better than yesterday? That is enough. Self-worth built on external praise is fragile. One negative comment can shatter it. Instead, build your foundation on virtues, kindness, perseverance, wisdom. Like a sculptor chiseling stone, shape your character patiently. In doing so, you'll find a confidence that no one can take away. A craftsman in a quiet village made wooden toys for local children. He never became rich or famous, but he poured his soul into his work. His toys lasted generations, passed down like heirlooms. Though the world never applauded him, his life was rich in meaning. True security, Stoicism tells us, lies not in recognition, but in right action. When we shift focus from success to service, from validation to virtue, insecurity loses its grip. Every life holds moments of rejection or uncertainty. But these are not signs of weakness. They are invitations to grow stronger, wiser, and more grounded. Even the most composed individuals face doubt. A nurse holding the hand of a dying patient may wonder if her efforts matter. But when that patient smiles with peace, she knows she has given something real. Insecurity fades when love and purpose lead the way. The Stoics were not emotionless statues. They were warriors of the soul. They faced war, exile, and plague, not with blind optimism, but with clarity. They asked not, "How do I avoid pain?" but "How can I meet it well?" This is the secret. Strength is not in hiding from storms, but walking through them, upright and unshaken. Let go of the need to be seen, to be liked, to be perfect. Instead, be present. Let each moment find you fully alive, grounded not in control, but in character. As Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." You do not need permission to live boldly. You simply need the courage to begin. In a remote mountain town, a reclusive artist spent decades painting landscapes no one ever saw. When he died, villagers discovered a cabin filled with breathtaking canvases. He never sought fame. His joy was in the act of creation itself. This is the Stoic spirit, finding peace not in applause, but in the quiet mastery of one's own soul. Ask yourself, if the world gave you nothing in return, would you still create, serve, and love? If yes, then you have already overcome insecurity. That is freedom. Number 3, the art of staying motivated every day. A young woman once lived in a coastal village where fishing was the main source of income. Every morning before dawn, she would walk to the shoreline, cast her net, and wait. There were days when the sea offered nothing. No fish, no breeze, no signs of reward. Yet she returned daily, not because the sea guaranteed success, but because showing up was her commitment to purpose. Her motivation was not the catch, but the discipline of showing up. In life, waiting for perfect conditions is like waiting for the wind to change before setting sail. You may never move. The Stoics teach that motivation is not a gift bestowed by fate, but a responsibility we craft through action. Circumstances may shape the battlefield, but how we show up each day is entirely our own. Rather than expect an easy path, Stoics anticipate challenges. A gardener does not curse the weeds, he expects them. Likewise, those who cultivate motivation understand that daily effort matters more than sudden bursts of passion. It's not about staying excited, but staying engaged, choosing progress over comfort. Consider the life of Haruki, a factory worker in post-war Japan. Though he worked long hours on the assembly line, he wrote fiction every evening, one page at a time. Years passed before his stories were published, yet he remained committed, fueled not by applause but by the belief that creating mattered. Today he is celebrated worldwide, but it was his quiet consistency, not luck, that made the difference. When motivation fades, it's easy to blame the world. But the Stoic path reminds us, our emotions, while valid, are not masters. If someone offends you or your plans fall apart, you may feel disheartened, but you do not have to surrender to it. A traveler in a storm does not abandon the road. He adjusts his stride. Even pain can be a teacher. A man recovering from a serious injury once said that his accident gave him a deeper sense of purpose. In learning to walk again, he discovered gratitude for every step. It is often in adversity that we discover the real source of motivation, not external rewards, but internal clarity. We live in a culture that glorifies speed, but Stoicism values steadiness. A sculptor doesn't strike the stone in rage, he chips it carefully. True motivation isn't loud, it's quiet and persistent. When you align your actions with your values, even small steps become sacred. A walk, a breath, a kind word, all become proof that you are alive and engaged. Many lose motivation not because they are weak, but because they are surrounded by noise. Voices that say they aren't good enough, fast enough, successful enough. Like a radio playing static, this noise distracts from our signal. The Stoics encourage silence and solitude as remedies, not to escape, but to hear your inner wisdom clearly. Relationships are mirrors. If you surround yourself with people who drain your energy or constantly dwell in cynicism, your motivation will erode. Instead, find those who uplift, who speak truth, who model discipline. These are not cheerleaders. They are fellow travelers, reminding you of your own strength. Avoiding pain by building walls leads to emotional isolation. Instead, embrace vulnerability as a path to depth. Every meaningful pursuit, love, art, growth, requires risk. A life of motivation is not free from wounds. It is rich with scars earned from fully living. Courage means acting even when the outcome is uncertain. Here's something few talk about. Even the most driven people doubt themselves. A mountain climber near the summit still questions their ability. But they take one more step anyway. That step, that simple choice, is the essence of motivation. Not confidence, not comfort, just the willingness to continue. Let today be the day you redefine motivation. It's not fireworks or fanfare. It's the steady pulse of intention. It's waking up, showing up, and doing your work. Not for applause, but for the quiet pride of being true to your purpose. Your life doesn't have to be spectacular to be meaningful. It only needs to be yours. Number 4, becoming strong. Do not let things get into you. Imagine standing in the middle of a crowded street during a sudden downpour. Everyone is scrambling for cover, panicked and rushing, but you simply stand still, letting the rain fall. You don't fight it, you don't curse it, you accept it. This is how strength works, not by resisting every inconvenience, but by not allowing it to take over your peace. True resilience isn't about building walls, but about choosing what enters your inner world. Life is brutally short. Compared to the lifespan of mountains or the age of stars, we are here for the blink of an eye. The problem isn't time, it's distraction. We spend far too much of our lives consumed by what others think, chasing shallow approval or clinging to fears that never materialize. As Seneca put it, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. The wise don't waste their days on what they can't control. Picture yourself carrying a heavy bucket filled with sand. Every grain is someone's opinion, a past mistake, or a fear of the future. You walk with it every day, exhausted, unaware that you can put it down. Stoicism invites you to set that burden aside. You are not required to carry the weight of the world. When you let go of what doesn't belong to you, others' expectations, imagined criticisms, you gain something far more valuable: peace. There was a quiet man named Rami who worked as a janitor in a university. Though many looked past him, he never complained or sought praise. Students eventually noticed he was always calm, always kind. One day someone asked, "Why are you never stressed?" He smiled and replied, "Because I only carry what's mine. Their stress isn't mine. Their judgments aren't mine. My job is simple: sweep the floor and keep my heart clean." That is the art of inner strength, letting the noise pass by without letting it inside. We often wait for motivation to begin something meaningful, hoping that energy or inspiration will strike. But Stoicism teaches that action precedes feeling. A bird doesn't wait to feel like flying. It flies because it was made to. Likewise, you don't need to feel inspired to live in alignment with your values. You only need to act, even in small steps. The path reveals itself in the walking, not in the waiting. You cannot control the waves, but you can learn to sail. When your plans fall apart or people disappoint you, your power lies not in fixing everything, but in your response. You can either drown in frustration or choose acceptance and redirection. Often, the strongest people are not those who never fall, but those who get up without bitterness. Strength also means not trying to become someone else. Trees grow at different rates, and no one asks an oak why it isn't a pine. The world is full of people trying to copy what others are doing, but true growth only happens when you follow your own path. When you stop comparing, you stop suffering. You're not here to outshine anyone. You're here to live your own truth. In the digital age, it's easy to be overwhelmed by constant news, opinions, and noise. But silence is still available to those who seek it. Make time each day to disconnect from the world and reconnect with yourself. Whether through a walk, a moment of stillness, or simply breathing deeply, these small pauses become your fortress. When the mind is calm, strength flows naturally. The essence of Stoicism is not detachment, but clarity. It's not about becoming numb. It's about choosing what matters. When you no longer let everything affect you, you don't become less human. You become more in control. That's not weakness, it's power. True strength is quiet. It's measured not in how loud you are, but in how little you need to prove. Number 5, master the power of resilience. Have you ever noticed how some people walk through chaos as if untouched, while others break down under the slightest pressure? The difference lies not in their circumstances, but in the strength of their mindset. Resilient individuals aren't shielded from hardship. They've simply trained themselves to respond differently. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy grounded in logic and self-control, teaches us that our suffering often stems not from events themselves, but from our reactions to them. Epictetus taught, "You may not control events, but you can always control your reaction." This principle shifts power back into our hands, reminding us that while the world is uncertain, our inner world can remain steady. Resilience is not some rare trait bestowed at birth. It is a disciplined habit built moment by moment through choices and reflection. To be resilient is to bend without breaking, to remain firm when the winds of adversity blow hardest. For the Stoics, setbacks are not punishments. They are tools that sharpen character and reveal true strength. Marcus Aurelius once observed that obstacles do not block the path. They are the path. Every hardship becomes a forge where resilience is tempered. When life does not go as planned, the Stoic approach is not to retreat, but to engage, to find in the struggle a deeper purpose and a chance to grow beyond limitations. Consider the story of Daniel, a teacher who had spent years working in a community school. When a sudden policy change led to his termination, he was devastated. Teaching had been his identity, and without it, he felt lost. But Daniel didn't let grief consume him. He began volunteering at a literacy program and started writing educational content online. Over time, he built an online platform that helped thousands of students. Losing his job became the catalyst for an even greater contribution, because he chose to respond with resilience rather than regret. At the heart of Stoic practice lies a simple truth. We control far less than we think. The Stoic mindset trains us to focus only on what is within our grasp, our intentions, our actions, our values. Everything else, people's opinions, outcomes, even health, must be met with acceptance. By doing so, we conserve our energy and direct it toward constructive, purposeful living. Another powerful tool in the Stoics' arsenal is premeditatio malorum, mentally preparing for life's setbacks. This doesn't mean being pessimistic. It means grounding yourself in reality so that when difficulty arises, it doesn't knock you off balance. You've already rehearsed the storm in your mind. You are ready, calm, and composed. Equally important is cultivating gratitude, not just for what's good, but also for what challenges us. Pain teaches patience. Failure reveals humility. Stoicism teaches us to appreciate life as a whole, not in filtered fragments. Even the bitter moments become part of a greater, meaningful tapestry when viewed with the right perspective. Self-reflection is where resilience deepens. Each day is a chance to evaluate not just what we've done, but how we've reacted. Did we remain grounded during conflict? Did we lose control over things we could have let go? Journaling, solitude, or evening contemplation are simple ways to build inner clarity and adjust course as needed. When we shift from fearing difficulty to seeing it as a teacher, we change how we walk through life. No longer thrown around by every inconvenience, we become rooted in purpose. This sense of stability not only serves us, it inspires those around us. Resilient people uplift entire communities simply by showing what's possible. And here is something worth adding. Resilience is not about being unmoved. It's about returning to center. You will have moments of anger, sadness, or fear. That's human. But resilience is your ability to come back to your core values again and again. The more you practice, the faster you return. That rhythm is where your power lives. As we move through a world that is increasingly unpredictable, the Stoic path offers a steady light. It doesn't promise comfort, but it promises clarity. Resilience gives us the strength not just to endure, but to live fully with courage and intention. So ask yourself now, if you stopped resisting the hard moments and began learning from them, what could you become? What kind of life would unfold if you met adversity with calm instead of fear? That transformation starts not out there, but within you. Let it begin today. We've just scratched the surface of Stoicism, a philosophy that can reshape the way we approach life, challenges, and personal growth. By embracing its teachings, you'll start focusing on what you can control, letting go of the things that hold you back, and ultimately finding peace and purpose in your journey. Our hope is that this video serves as a catalyst for positive change, motivating you to tackle life's obstacles with renewed strength and clarity. Before we wrap up, we're curious, what lesson stood out to you the most from the 6 we shared? Let us know in the comments. Your feedback is always valuable to us. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe so you never miss any of our future videos. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're always in the loop when we post something new. Feel free to explore more by checking out the suggested videos at the end and share any topics you'd love for us to cover in future episodes. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.